Now, in addition to GMOs, there's actually another important category of GE foods called gene-edited foods, or GEFs. If you've ever heard of CRISPR or talons, you know a little bit about gene editing already. Basically, instead of using a bacterium or a gene gun to insert DNA, gene editing technologies like CRISPR use a special type of protein, a special enzyme, to cut open the DNA so that they can add to, delete from, or alter it. Unlike GMOs, which are typically transgenic and contain DNA from another species, GEFs are often cisgenic and contain no foreign DNA. With the development of technologies like CRISPR, the potential for gene editing to have applications in agriculture has surged over the past 10 years. Some have argued that gene editing techniques can be much less time-consuming and sometimes more precise than traditional modification. And others have made claims that gene editing will yield better and a greater variety of products than traditional modification. As of now, only 2 GEFs have entered the market, a type of tomatoes in Japan and soybean oil in the United States, which is actually no longer available. But it is possible that GEFs may become more prevalent in the future. Now, a small side note is that it's important to keep in mind that the distinction between a GMO and a GEF is somewhat nebulous, and while the surface level distinction certainly does have impacts on the ways that certain GE foods are regulated, for example, gene-edited foods under current legislation aren't required to be labeled, the distinction that does exist is primarily based on the method of production and doesn't necessarily translate into concrete physical differences between the resulting products. Either way, it's important to understand that there is some distinction between GMOs and GEFs because it can play a role in policy and in the various narratives that people present on the issue.